Understanding cancer cells like a doctor. Today I'm going to share what is cancer cells, how do cancer cells work, and how do cancer cells grow and spread. Do you know the secret of cancer cell? Immortality. Imagine cancer cells as a rebels who never grow up. A normal cells have a normal cell cycles whereby they grow, divide, and then they die. If a cell is damaged, it dies earlier than expected. Otherwise, it dies at the end of its natural life cycle. A normal cell has a little cap on their genetic stuff called telomere, and this cap gets shorter with every division until the cells finally say bye-bye. But cancer cells break the rules. Instead, they continue to grow and divide no matter how damaged or abnormal they become. Cancer cells achieve immortality by reversing the telomere shortening process and strengthening their telomeres. They fix this cap so they can keep dividing and never stop, like a fountain that never runs dry. Cancer cells live on infinitely. Here's the second cancer cell's character. Cancer cell is a slow, progressive disease. Contrasting to what many people think, cancer cell does not happen quickly or out of the blue. Someone diagnosed with late-stage cancer and becoming unwell after the chemotherapies or radiations contribute to the image of cancer cells as a fast-acting disease. But that's not true. In the reality, cancer cells is a slow and progressive disease. Most of the time, cancer festers in the body without causing any symptoms. Hence, we often are not aware of having cancer. By the time it can detect and treat it, sometimes it is too late. As with many other health conditions such as heart disease, cancer does not happen just overnight. The phrase early stage cancer is misleading because it gives patients the impression that cancer is new to their body or has only just occurred when it has actually been in the bodies for years. They just did not know about it. It's similar to the bacteria. Cancer cells multiply over time. But while the doubling time can be mere minutes for bacteria, it takes much longer for cancer cells. So, while people may notice an infection taking hold in a few hours or maybe a few days, it may be years or even decades before a tumor grows large enough to be visible by medical image techniques or cause symptoms to prompt a trip to the doctors. Let's move on to the third character of cancer cell. Cancer's abilities to change. Cancer is sneaky because it can change its appearance quickly. Imagine if a person looks different every day. Cancers can do that. Make it hard to fight with the same treatment all the time. And just like a superhero getting stronger to defeat the villains, cancer cells can learn to resist drugs as well. There's some steps of how cancer cells grow and spread. The step number 1, the long roads to detection. Spotting cancer isn't easier because it takes a long time to show itself. It's a bit like the underground movement that takes years to pop out. Even with fancy machines, we can't always find those tiny cancer cells. So, when someone gets an early stage cancer diagnosis, it might have been growing quietly for a long time. Step number 2, prevention. Protecting yourself from the hidden enemy. While genetics play a small role, our choices matter a lot. Like eating healthy, staying active, and avoiding harmful stuff can lower the risk. It's a bit like putting lock on the door and the windows to keep out the intruders. Step number 3, knowing the start of cancer. Think of ourselves like tiny workers in a big family, each with a job to do. But sometimes things go wrong. Cells can start acting strangely because their instructions get mixed up, often due to things like radiation or infections. Picture as a worker not following the rules, causing problems. Step number 4, Understanding uncontrolled cells division. When a cell's instructions get mixed up, it starts dividing too much, like a troublemaker causing problem at work. These troublemakers team up and form a lump called a tumor. Some tumors are harmless and not causing problem, but others turn into cancer and spread to the nearby places. Step number 5. The unpredictable behavior of cancer. As time passes, these troublemaker cells pick up more changes, becoming even more wider and ignoring the rules. Think of someone who never listened to anyone. That's these cells. They can break free from the tumors they started and spread others area, making it harder to stop them. Step number 6. How cancer fuels its growth. For these troublemaker cells to keep growing, they need a special pathway, a blood supply. They send signals that make the body create new blood vessels, like secret tunnels to help them. These extra blood vessels feed the tumors, make it grow. Step number 7. The threat of metastasis. The worst part is when these troublemaker cells escape from the tumors. They can travel through the body's highway, the bloodstream or lymphatic system, to new places. It's like the troublemaker leaving the city to make troubles somewhere else. Once cancer spreads, it becomes much tougher to treat. In conclusion, understanding how cancer cells work helps us see why catching it early is so important. It's a bit like keeping an eye out for troublemakers in your neighbors to stop them from causing more problems. Our choices matter a lot in this fight, even if our genes don't help us. Making wise choices make us strong against this tricky enemy. We are like guardians cracking the code of cancer, working together to stay safe. That is today's sharing. Remember to click like if you enjoyed this. For more helpful content, hit subscribe and share to your friends and family if you know this helps them. Knowledge is power. Together we will help many people.